Park for Game 2 between the Nats and Brewers. Wisconsin native Jordan Zimmermann looks to stay undefeated against his hometown team. Tonight, Game 2 of the 4-game set here at Miller Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Nats fans, sure they're here, as they were last year, to cheer on their ball club. Last night, a little tough going for the ball club, losing the Milwaukee 6-5. But tonight, hopefully a different story. Johnny Holiday with FP Santangelo. Great to have you with us tonight. Bob Carpenter taking a couple of days off. You know, you can't make this stuff up, FP. Last night, we're talking about Ryan Zimmerman going on the DL. Today, we talk about Aaron Barrett going on the DL. Almost every major name on this ball club has been on the DL at one time or another this year.
Yeah, watching Matt Williams today in the dugout before the game, it's all he's talking about is injuries. He'd like to be talking about his ball club playing at full strength. But when you look about what's happened this year with all the injuries, you know, it's unfortunate, but every team goes through this. The Mets have gone through this. A number of teams in the major leagues have gone through this. You got to find a way to weather the storm. So you look at the month of June. What is that in the big scheme of things, the big picture? It's a month to heal. It's a month to get better. Everybody but Jason Worth probably going to be ready by the end of June. July, you get back to full strength. Now, all of a sudden in July, you start to click. You start to get a rhythm as a team again. You get Strasburg back. You get Pfister back. You get Zimmerman back. And now you're clicking. You're seeing where the other ball clubs are at. If you need to make a trade at the deadline, you tweak a little bit at the end of July. August and September are go time. So right now, Matt Williams just trying to weather the storm. And with no team really running away with its division, there's no real urgency to win right now. Obviously, you have to win. You have to hold your ground. But it's not like there's a team that's 15 or 20 games over and they're getting buried. So just weather the storm right now. Get healthy in June. Lock in July. Tweak at the end of the month, August and September. Let's go.
And despite the injuries, the Nats still only a half game out of first place behind the Mets. On the brighter side of things, how about Doug Pfister getting a rehab start tonight? He's pitching in Harrisburg. He's had 4 scoreless thus far.
Get Doug Pfister back. Get Steven Strasburg back. Strasburg's been working on his mechanics while he's on the DL, so he's starting to feel better. You see the towel drill yesterday. He's not throwing a towel, folks. He's trying to find his release point. That towel will snap when it's out front and on time. So when you use that towel in the pen, you get it out here, it snaps. Now you know release point's out here. So I've been working with Steve McCaddy with his mechanics. He threw a simulated game today. He's working on his landing point. So get him back, get Pfister back, get Zimmerman back. Hopefully Aaron Barrett's okay with the bicep strain. Get to full strength and then go. But yeah, it's unfortunate. You have to weather the storm. It's the major leagues. Nobody cares. Find a way to win.
Exactly. It's unfortunate. I'm up here and you went down to a tailgate. I knew you'd be in the tailgate because tonight it's Jordan Zimmermann as he got the fans from Auburndale, Wisconsin following him. And when we come back, FP's going to go down, gobble up some of that food, free of course, and we'll continue from Miller Park in Milwaukee. We'll show you highlights of that tailgate coming up in a minute. the guys got the Washington jersey on saying, hey, let's go inside. Let's watch a ball game for about 2.5 hours. My team's better than your team. You know, I got a pretty good pitcher tonight, the guy from the Nats is saying, and that's Jordan Zimmermann. He's after his 6th win of the year, 3 starts at Miller Park, 2-0 in his career with a 1.50. He's only walked 7. He has struck out 20. 5-3 with a 3.18 earned run average this year. And he's won 3 of his last 5 starts. This is start number 13 for him tonight. Earlier we talked about FP going down to that tailgate from the fans of Auburndale who come over from Wisconsin to watch Jordan pitch tonight. Let's catch up with FP with Jordan's dad, Jeff.
All right, I'm standing here with Jordan Zimmermann's dad, Jeff. I mean, take us through this whole thing. What are we eating? What do we got?
Oh, I've got the regular Wisconsin bratwurst going. Pheasant poppers, I know you like them. You had a few of them already. Just some cold beverages, Bloody Marys, the beers, everything you need in a Wisconsin tailgate.
The whole town of Auburndale is here. How many people do you think are here?
I would say there's maybe 7,500 people here. Not the whole town, but we do not have any stop-and-go lights, by the way.
No, this is just great, this tradition of tailgating, especially with your son pitching tonight and everybody with the Nats jerseys on. I mean, this is just incredible.
Oh, yeah. Every year. It's been going 4 or 5 years here at Miller Park, and we get a little sea of red down here. We get a lot of looks from the Blues.
Well, Jordan loves pitching here. He's got a 1.50 ERA in this ballpark. You're expecting big things tonight, obviously.
Oh, I hope he can keep it rolling. I mean, we need a win tonight. We got to turn this little losing streak around a little bit here.
He said it right, didn't he? We need a win tonight. We being the Washington Nationals. We'll be back. We'll meet the starting lineups. The opening pitch, game 2 of 4. The Nats against the Milwaukee Brewers from Miller Park in Milwaukee. Brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by PNC Bank. That's for the achiever in you. Miller Park, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Sun did come out a little bit today. Nationals trying to get back on their winning track after last night's very, very tough 6-5 loss to the Brewers. Late inning run by Milwaukee. Got them across with that win. Only their 10th at home this year. Check the lineups now for the Nationals. Top to bottom. Span will lead it off. Anthony Rendon will hit second, looking for his first RBI of the season. First home run, Yadel Escobar, that number 3 hole. Then Bryce Harper in the cleanup spot. Wilson Ramos, followed by Clint Robinson, got his first major league home run last night. Michael A. Taylor will follow Ian Desmond, who's back in the lineup after taking last night off. First time he's been off all season long. And then Jordan Zimmermann on the mound. Desmond career against Milwaukee, hitting .314, a .457 slugging percentage, 13 ribbies and 11 runs.
We see the arsenal right there on Mike Fiers' last start. Threw the fastball 53% of the time at 88. He'll cut the fastball at 85, slider 80. His best secondary pitch is the changeup at 82. So all of his pitches between 88 and 82 miles an hour. And you see opponents hitting 292, righties 310. You're thinking the offense should get some hits tonight off Mike Fiers.
So Denard Span steps in to lead it off against the right-hander for Milwaukee. Flyers at 2-6 has not won a game at home this year. And we're underway. Ball inside. Denard's numbers 308 last night, a big night, 3 for 5 again, another 3-hit night, a double, and the RBI. It's safely now in 5 of the last 6 games. And the guys in blue tonight, behind the plate is Mike Everett. Tim Timmons down at first and Todd Tishner at second. And the crew chief, that's Tim Wilkie, down to third. And the count to Span is 2 balls, no strike, and Fires delivered. That's in there for a strike.
I talked to Bruce Fremy, retired umpire, still works with Major League Baseball. I said, hey, Bruce, why not total transparency and tell us who the crew is in New York every single night when we introduce the crew here? He thought that maybe it was for security reasons that the public doesn't know who's in New York. I really wasn't buying it, to be honest. I think when we show the crew down in this corner, in the left-hand corner, we should show the crew in New York in the right-hand corner. So when there's a review, everybody knows who's
looking
up there.
at the monitors, right? In the Big Apple, sure. Why not?
Total transparency. Why not?
Yeah. And Fires loses Span, his leadoff batter. So Denard on. And take a look at the Milwaukee defense tonight.
It's like that telestrate. And Peterson, Parra, and Braun in the outfield. Segura, Ramirez, left side. Jeanette, Lynn, right side. Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. Same soup as last night for Craig Counsell. Same lineup.
Lineup worked for him last night. That ball game was 5-1 favored Washington late. And Milwaukee came back to edge him. As Anthony Rendon will step in. Last night a 1-for-3 night with a walk. Slowly grounding back into shape, trying to get that batting average up over 200. Not going to stay where it is for long, is it, FP? He's just too good of a player.
No, that was a gift strike right there for strike one, top of the zone.
90 from Mike Fires. 62 innings pitched, 74 hits, and 33 runs given up by Fires. The ball club is 4-8 in his starts this year. And in 6 home starts, has yet to win a game. Go back to first. Span gets back in safely.
And we talked about the injuries in the outset of the broadcast, but this ball club last year, especially late in the season, didn't just beat you. It beat your will to win. Meaning the first game of the series, the second game of the series, if you played the Nats late last season, you knew you didn't have a chance the third game. And when you're a championship ball club, that's what you do. You just don't win games. You beat people's will to win. And right now, the way they're all banged up, Matt Williams' squad is just kind of hoping to tread water and hoping to win a game. And because they're not at full strength and because of the injuries, they don't have that same thing they had going on last year late, where teams just didn't even think they could compete with this ball club.
And as you mentioned on the opening, FP, he'd rather be talking about the ball club winning and playing than talking about who's on the DL and who's coming back.
Right. But, I mean, injuries are part of it.
Sure. Bouncing ball to third. Nice play by Ramirez. That could be 2. And it is. Around the horn double play. Erasing Span, and there's 2 quick outs.
PNC Minor League report. PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Here's some good news tonight. Look at the numbers on Doug Pfister in Harrisburg. So, Doug, if you're watching, good job. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 4 strikeout. He hit a guy. Come on. 70 pitches, 47 strikes. That's good. I mean, and the number's not really important. It's how he feels tomorrow that Matt Williams is concerned about.
That'll bring a smile to Matt Williams' face, I guarantee you, knowing that kind of effort he got from Pfister this evening. Yunel Escobar, 0 for 4 last night. Brings that big 319 batting average to the plate against Mike Fires. Fires 12 starts this year, 6 innings his longest, 6 1/3. May 12th against the White Sox, mainly because he throws more pitches per inning than anybody in Major League Baseball. Line drive to center. On comes Parra. And the Nationals are retired. We go to the bottom of the first. We are scoreless at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Milwaukee. There's Jordan's dad, Jeff, just on the phone talking to folks back in Washington, saying, yeah, FP was at our tailgate, ate most of the wings.
I ate some pheasant poppers, and they were fantastic.
Here's the Brewers lineup that'll face Zimmerman tonight. Lucroy leads off, the catcher. Only his second time he's led off in this lineup. Did it last night, does it tonight. Ira, Ryan Braun, Adam Lynn, Ramirez, Shane Peterson, Segura, the shortstop, Scooter Gennett, who drove into what appeared to be the game-winning run last night late, and then Mike Fiers. Segura, the last 14 games, 9 runs with 5 extra base hits, 20 for 60 at .333 average.
About 4 earned runs in 5 innings last start. Took his first loss since April 18th, 6-3 defeat against the Cubs last time out. A little bit wild in the strike zone. As we all know, Jordan Zimmerman is a strike thrower. And if he's right down the middle of the plate or elevated, sometimes he gets hits. Gave up 10 hits last time in 5 innings, 4 runs, 92 pitch effort.
And his first pitch to Lucroy is out in there for a strike. Jonathan playing his 23rd game, all starts. And as we mentioned last night, the first time he's led off in a game in his major league career.
Yeah, catcher's leading off for 1,000, Alex.
He was on that 15-day DL with a fractured left toe and came off it on June 1st. Missed 38 games. That's foul back on the screen, out of play.
Who is Jason Kindle? Who is Russell Martin? Kurt Suzuki.
You had about 3 of them last night, didn't you?
John Jaso.
These are off the top of your head, of course, aren't they?
They are.
Bouncer right back to Zimmerman, bobbles it, picks it up, soft toss to first. There's 1 down.
Craig Biggio before he played second base. I win. 4-0 me. Here's the defense for the Nats. Taylor, Span, Harper the outfield. Desmond, Escobar left side. Rendon, Robinson right side. In the Buffalo behind the plate, Wilson Ramos.
Para. 2 for 4 with a home run last night, his 8th of the year.
Big home run, game changer.
You're kidding. A monster shot that was. Check swing. 94 on the gun.
Had Tanner Roark question his pitch selection after the game. That home run. Threw him a changeup out over. Elevated. He got all of it to right center field.
And Zimmerman wasting no time and working on the hill out there. Right to par for 2 balls and no strikes. In the month of June, the Brewers are having a good month. They're 6-4. And the Nationals have beaten Toronto, the Cubs, and the Yankees this month. And the count goes to 3-0. Harris had 38 starts, 58 games he's appeared in. Coming off an 8-4-33 road trip, 23 road trip, and Power gets the first walk issued by Jordan Zimmerman. Zimmerman walks 1 and Mike Fiers walks 1.
That is the 18th, excuse me, Johnny, walk for Jordan Zimmerman this year. He walked 29 hitters all of last year in 32 starts. So he had more starts than walks. And he's going to have to hustle to do that again this year.
That'll bring up the always dangerous Ryan Braun. Bouncer to short, could be 2. Desi bobbles it, got it to Rendon, and safe at first.
My thinking Desmond might have been better suited to take that himself. He was so close to Anthony Rendon. It looked like Rendon was almost surprised that he flipped it to him, and I couldn't tell live. Did he have trouble getting it out of his glove? And just in between taking it himself and giving it to Rendon, that little hesitation by Desmond cost a double play. A lot of times shortstops will just field that, step on the base. He would have thrown out Ryan Braun by a couple of steps, but
FP, I think you're right. It looked like he was going to head for second, then changed his mind.
Well, he had it right the first time and then decided to flip it to Rendon, and that was the difference. And now the inning moves to Adam Lind, and you're hoping that doesn't cost Jordan Zimmerman pitches.
So they erase Power, the lead runner. Led with a 2-for-4 night in game 1 of this 4-game series last night. And a throw back to first, and safely back is Ryan Braun. Lindgren in a run last night, had a double. He's hitting .284 on the year. Milwaukee's 23-38, and they've only won 10 games at home, 10-20. And the pitch, that's 93.
And Johnny, that was a little thing out there, but when you're playing poorly and you've lost 10 of your last 13, the little things start to add up. And when they add up, that's the difference between a 5-4 win or maybe a 6-5 loss throughout the course of a game. You won't see it in the box score. It's not an error, but now the inning continues.
Yep. Right between Harper and Span, and on to third goes Braun. With a base hit is Lynn. And the Brewers have runners on the corner now with 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning.
And Jordan Zimmerman thinking I should be sitting in the dugout right now, and now he's got to go to his ace stuff here in the bottom of the first inning with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Well-placed blooper by Adam Lind. Ryan Braun to third base, and now you got to go if you're Jordan Zimmerman early.
Ramirez 0 for 4 last night. In his final major league season. And Milwaukee threatening here in the first inning. Foul back out of play. Needs 28 doubles for 500, 24 homers for 400 in his career. And a pretty good hitter at third base. 371 home runs at third base. That's number 5 all time in the major league list. Count is even at 1-1. Don't you wonder when Matt Williams goes to bed at night, FP, he's thinking about how can we turn this thing around? Are we ever going to start getting some good breaks?
He's thinking about one thing, and that's defense. That's what he thinks about every night after the game.
Nice off-speed pitch and way out in front of that one.
And he doesn't go to sleep that night. It's just not happening right now. Pretty good curveball from Jordan Zimmerman. First one out of the gate, nasty, 81.
Back home standing by the batting cage one day, I was talking to Matt, and they were having some tough times when they lost a couple of games, and he said the thing that really bothers me is you don't want to beat yourself. It's okay if you get beat, but don't beat yourself. Don't make the mistakes that compound the mistakes.
Well, when your team's not hitting, you have to play perfect defense because your offense is not going to cover it up. And when your bullpen's been scuffling, those are the worst losses as a ball club. I mean, if you lose 2-1, you tip your cap, you give them next day. But when you're losing late, and I believe the team has had a lead the last 5 games in the 7th inning, and giving it up a few times, those are the tough ones.
Breaking ball, nice block by Ramos outside and low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Well, the Brewers on the corners in the scoreless ball game, and they're threatening right now in the bottom of the first inning. And the 2-2. Foul back out of play. George's only given up 3 home runs in 73 and 2/3 innings pitched. That's the 4th best rate in all of Major League Baseball. Allowed 7 runs, 6 of them earned, 13 starts this year. Ramos sets up outside. Breaking ball missed outside. And the count is full. And the 3-2. Fly ball to right. Harper's going to run toward the stands. It drifts up just into the stands down the right field line. And that appears something else it also does. When they're not scoring a lot of runs, it puts additional pressure on the starting pitcher.
Well, that's a good point. The pitching feels like it has to be perfect at this point. But like I said in the open, it's all going to change. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. So the 3-2 again to Ramirez. Line drive in the gap. That'll score 1. Off the wall, it might score 2. Rounding third, heading for home. And the Brewers have a 2-0 lead. Now the Ramirez double.
There we see the location mistake. He wanted to get this inside, so an inning that should have been over on a routine double play continues. And Aramis Ramirez on the 8th pitch of the at-bat goes shopping in the gap, a 2-out double. That scores Braun. And that scores Lind all the way from first. And gives the Brewers an early 2-0 lead.
And Ramirez has got 21 knocked in now this season with that 2 RBI double. Braun and Lind score ahead of him, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee. Shane Peterson, the left fielder for the Brewers, 0 for 4 last night with an RBI. And quickly, Jordan gets ahead of him, 0 balls and 2 strikes. 23 pitches here in the first inning for Jordan Zimmerman. And despite the injuries, despite all the players on the DL, still the Nationals only a half game behind New York in the NL East. Mets and the Braves tangled this evening at Citi Field in New York. Be nice to have the guy on the left back here soon, wouldn't it?
It would.
And the 0-2 pitch. Just missed. And they count to 1-2.
So a 25 pitch inning and 15 extra pitches for Jordan Zimmerman and counting. 16.
Peterson, a career 167 hitter, this year 176. Gene Segura on deck for the Brewers, then Scooter Gennett. And down at second is Ramirez. And that's fouled out of play. Aaron Barrett, 15-day DL today, strained right bicep. And David Carpenter activated today. Acquired from the Yankees yesterday. And the pitch again to Peterson, fouled up. He's battling up there at the plate. Carpenter with stops in Houston and Toronto, Atlanta, and the Yankees, with 22 games in the Bronx. To try to maybe settle down and add some strength to the Nationals bullpen. Zimmerman check of the runner, the 2-2 pitch, again foul back.
So not to mention the 2 runs, but that's 20 extra pitches had that double play been turned.
Jack Ramirez at second. And Mike Everett calls that a ball. Awfully close.
Pretty good pitch down the zone. Did it register on pitch track?
So another full count. This time to Shane Peterson. Bouncing ball down to Robinson at first. He'll take it unassisted, and the inning is finally over, but not before. Milwaukee pushes across 2. Bryce Harper leads off for the Nationals, trying to get something going in the top of the second.
Right here, catches breath after a 31-pitch bottom of the first. You can join the Nats in Pittsburgh and Miami as they play the Pirates and the Marlins with the Nationals Destinations Travel Package. Your Nationals Destinations package includes game tickets, hotel accommodations, and VIP ballpark tour and more. Visit nationals.com/destination for details and to book your trip today. Don't sleep on that Pittsburgh trip, by the way. PNC Park is fantastic. One of the best parks in the big league. So you're thinking, oh, I'm going to Miami? Pittsburgh is solid.
Pittsburgh. Not that far away either. Bryce Harper followed by Wilson Ramos and Clint Robinson here in the top of the second for the Nats.
We usually get tons of Nats fans for the Pittsburgh series. And there's a lot here tonight. A lot of fans coming up for the weekend.
Sure are, yeah.
Red everywhere in this ballpark.
Bryce leads the ball club with a .328 average, leads in run scores with 45, homers with 20, RBIs 47, 50 walks. That's the most in the club. 7 intentional passes. It's a high foul on a play back up to the left.
Let's go STG inside the numbers with Bryce Harper. What you talking about, Johnny? Nats outfielders, 34 home runs. That's tied for first. 20 of them in the box right now. You see the on base and the OPS.
Yeah, the 1-2 pitch. Swing of the line drive, a high fly ball to right, drifting back and back on the warning track, and it is off the wall. They're going to call it a home run. It's gone. Now it's back on the field, and Harper gets number 21. Right over Braun's head in right field, or right center.
Well, standing at 22 last night, and Bryce Harper's thinking, I can't let that guy run away with this. And a nice answer for the Nats in the top of the second to the Brewers 2 in the bottom of the first. And Bryce Harper, the story continues, folks. My goodness.
Number 21 RBI, number 48.
I mean, when he hits them, you know they're gone. This one barely got out, but as soon as he touched it, he had just so much backspin and carry, and he's so strong. I would say the 21, there's been about 5 or 6 this year that you're just wondering how they got out.
You've got 21 of the team's 59 home runs.
Maybe a little dizzy after the celebration.
Could be, yeah. Give me some water. No balls, 1 strike to Ramos.
Maybe hugged him too hard. They just knocked the wind out of him.
Look at Mike Wallace behind Harper, just arms folded, just kind of.
Oh, well, he knows where the camera's at. He's not.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Moves right down toward the end of the dugout.
I'm going to stand next to Bryce, too, if I'm in the dugout. Serious airtime.
Yes. And the pitch to Ramos. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
94. On home run 21. Oh, and there goes a no-hitter. My bad. Got a little excited.
17 miles higher than the average home run speed in the major leagues.
Let's watch it again.
Yeah.
It was up. He got on top of it. And some serious backspin created, and the roof closed at Miller Park. The ball carries right into the Nats bullpen. Take cover, relievers. Coming right at you.
That makes it a 2-1 ball game. And Ramos doesn't get the bat off his shoulder, takes call, strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Mike Fiers.
Somebody was ducking for cover out there in the bullpen, and we have to call him out, whoever it was. Was it Matt LeCroy? Who's it coming to get there? Watch at the end in the middle. Ah. Yes, it was the bullpen coach.
And between his banana sandwich with peanut butter.
Yeah. He's retired. He can duck. I just thought it was one of the pitchers.
Ground ball to Jeanette. On to Adam Lynn. So Robinson is retired. And now Ian Desmond up for the first time. After taking last night off, coming up, got a pinch hit late in the game. And Desi hitting at .237, 5 home runs and He's driven in 21.
Base hit off the bench last night off of Francisco Rodriguez. Change up. Kept that top of the ninth alive for a second.
And fires, delivers. 21 pitches here in the first inning for Mike Fiers. Sunday at Minnesota, gave up 2 runs and 7 hits and 4 1/3. And he took the loss, a 2-0 shutout by the Twins. And last year, this guy had a pretty good earned run average of 2.13, winning 6 and losing 5. Here he's got a 2-1 lead in the top of the second. Swinging a foul at the plate.
Lexus Home Runs for Kids. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers donate $250 to the Children's National Health System for every home run an Nats player hits this season. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
1 ball and 2 strikes the count. The Desmond, 1 run in, and Harper's home run is 21st of the year.
You watch your stat of the night. I was looking at this before the game. Ian Desmond this year has 6 at-bats with a 3-1 count, 4 at-bats with a 3-0 count, and only 21 at-bats with a 2-0 count. And this is his 32nd. Well, I thought it was a 2-1 count. Excuse me.
It's a 1-2 count. Now it's a 2-2 count.
So he's 31 with a 2-1 count. So just 6 at-bats with a 3-1 count this whole season.
And the count 2-2 with 2 outs. Took something off that breaking ball, and he is retired. But not before the Nationals go deep with Bryce Harper again. Over the right center field into the Nationals bullpen. Home run number 21. And he cuts the Milwaukee lead in half. We go to the bottom of the second. 2-1 Brewers.
You enjoy a cold one. Look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. That is brought to you by Miller Lite, which is like right across the street from here, by the way.
Yeah, saw the big sign. Did you stop and get a tour?
No, I didn't. It's right behind us where they make that.
I know you enjoyed that tailgate with the Zimmerman family.
It was great. The whole city of Auburndale is here. Wonderful family, all his buddies from home. Probably about 100 people out there.
That's less than 100 miles from here, isn't it, Auburndale?
No, it's 3 hours, so whatever that is. Probably about 210 miles. Depending on how you drive.
Or who's driving.
Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike. As Gene Segura leads off the second for the Brewers. Jordan, a 31-pitch first inning, allowing Milwaukee to jump off to a 2-0 lead. Well, the Rivera's doubled.
A little bit quick with the delivery right now. The arm's kind of trailing and the fastball's been up. If you're watching his finish, he's really jumping toward the Brewers dugout. You see that on occasion, but not as much as he's doing tonight. It's really exaggerated.
And a swing and a miss. And a 93.
When he's at his best, he's just burying that front shoulder and that head right toward the target and throwing downhill. And the 94 acts like upper 90s when you talk to opposing hitters.
And the 3-2 pitch. That's fouled out of play. In the Sunday loss to the Cubs, he went 5 innings and gave up 4 earned runs. Only the second start this year that was not a quality start for Jordan Zimmerman. He's been that good. At 5-3, allowed 2 earned runs or less in 4 of his last 5 starts.
Now 3-2 slider right here, 87 miles an hour. So Segura convinced he's going to get a fastball, and just a little cut to that slider at 87. Not the big slider, but he had to throw it in the zone, and he did. Good pitch.
And that's Jordan's first strikeout of the ball game. That'll bring up Scooter Gennett, the Brewers' second baseman, with a 159 batting average in his 23rd game back. Just recalled yesterday from AAA Colorado Springs to drive in the winning run of the game. And Zimmerman high, count as 1 ball 1 strike. And Jordan with 40 pitches thus far. And the 1-1 breaking ball fouled off down the right side, out of play.
STG inside the numbers this season, 83.3% quality starts, 10 of 12. I did that math in my head.
That ball fouled. Zach Greinke, the only pitcher ahead of him with the Dodgers, at 91.7%.
So 6 innings, 3 runs or less is a quality start.
Sounds good to me.
Quality start's a W. End of story.
Line drive in the gap. That'll be in there maybe for extra bases. Harper trying to run it down. It's off the wall. And Gennett into second, standing up with a double.
That was more impressive, the double by Gennett or the throw by Bryce Harper from right center field on a hop all the way to third base. I mean, fastball in right where they wanted it. Gennett's been hot in AAA. They called him up yesterday, had the game winner. But watch the throw by Harper from right center field on 1 hop on the money to Yunel Escobar. That was worth seeing again.
And I guarantee you the Brewer coaches told Gennett, do not test Bryce Harper's arm. You'll be a dead duck if you do. Mike Fiers with 1 base hit this year, 1 for 16. But he's got Gennett down at second base with 1 away here in the second. Bouncing ball Robinson. He'll take it unassisted. And Gennett scoots down to third. Fiers retired.
Come out to Nationals Park on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays this season for Miller Lite Party Night. Well, you should just come anyways on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. They're the funnest ball games at the yard. Get a game ticket plus a drink while enjoying live music before the game. Starting at just $20. Go to nationals.com/party for this special offer. It's my partner's favorite deal.
So with Mike Fiers being retired, that's the second out of the inning. And we go back to the top of the Milwaukee lineup with Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher. And he is 0 for 1, grounded out in his first time up. And Zimmerman comes inside. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. He's 2 for 11 with an RBI with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. Jonathan Lucroy just 1 home run and 3 RBIs this season. And the pitch, that's foul back. Lucroy, the Brewers' most valuable player last year.
So there's times when Jordan Zimmerman works a little bit fast. In that tempo, kind of translates into his delivery. And right now, he's slowing it down between pitches. And he's also slowing down his delivery.
And he strikes out Lucroy to end the inning. So Milwaukee threatens. They do not get the run across. And after 2, the Nationals trail by 1. Milwaukee 2, and the Nats coming to bat as we go to the top of the 3rd at Miller Park.
They liked it. Full night for baseball here in Milwaukee at a fine ballpark and a pretty good crowd. Show us what you've got, Nats fans. Matt Williams wants you to challenge him to anything, and anything is in caps on this read. Just tweet your challenge using hashtag #IChallengeMatt all week long for your chance to win. Visit www.masson.me/IChallengeMatt to learn more.
That's kind of open-ended, isn't it?
I mean, anything is anything.
Anything you want to. No, if you had a chance to challenge him. There's a line drive. Michael A. Taylor puts it out to center field. Nice running grab by Gerardo Parra. Gets past him. That's extra inning. Extra bases. So 1 pitch and 1 out to Michael A. Taylor.
Good swing. That ball had a little tail away from Gerardo Parra, and you're wondering if it was going to get in the gap for at least a double. Parra ran it down. The 2-time Gold Glove winner out there is as smooth as it gets.
That's with 1 hit in this ball game. That was Bryce Harper's home run back in the 2nd. That'll bring up Jordan Zimmerman, 182 batting average. Loves to swing the bat. Got a double, 3 RBIs.
All on 1 swing against the Braves in Atlanta. Bases loaded.
And Jordan 4 hits this year. He'll take that for a call strike. Want to win the Nationals 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Zimmerman bounces it foul off to the left. MP, I think I speak for all the National fans. Aaron Barrett back home on that 15-day DL. We wish him well after suffering that right strained bicep last night, and everybody holding their breath as he walked off the mound. And that's, I guess, the best of the news. It's a right bicep strain.
Well, they're still going to examine it further, and we hope he's okay.
Yeah, not an elbow and not a shoulder. We wish Aaron the best, as we do all the guys who are on the DL. My goodness. Mike Fiers battling with, as you look at the brand new addition to the ball club, David Carpenter. 22 appearances with the Yankees this year. He's on the right there.
It's new as Carpenter.
Yeah. And Zimmerman strikes out. That strikeout
So everywhere I go, if I had a nickel for people asking me what's wrong with the Nets, well, there you go. And it's not an excuse, it's a fact. I mean, you got two of the best hitters on the DL. You got Strasburg and Pfister on the DL. They're on the men's. Aaron Barrett, Craig Stammen. Don't sleep on the Stammen thing. I mean, that's a huge loss for a guy that's been fantastic in the bullpen for a number of years here. And then look at the games missed. Rendon, Span, Harper, Escobar, Scherzer, Jansen.
And no wonder, FP, we see an expression like this from Matt Williams.
Well, you'd see that if they were up by 10. I mean, it's the same every night. But the fact is, that's what's wrong with this ball club. But, ... it's the big leagues. Nobody cares. You got to find ways to win baseball games. And it's an opportunity for other guys to step up.
And that's for sure. No sympathy cards for the Nationals. Span pops it up. Drifting over is Ramirez. He has no play. Well, it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Bernard Span. He walked in the first inning and erased on a double play. Nets and Brewers hooking up again tomorrow afternoon in Game 3, then also Sunday afternoon. Then you go down. You guys are in Tampa for a couple of games, Monday and Tuesday before you come back. And the Rays come back to face the Nats at Nats Park.
Yeah, Bob's bringing his mask and Speedo, so we'll be all set.
Let me close my eyes and visualize that for a moment.
All right, you do that. Here's the next 5 for you. 4 o'clock start tomorrow. Joe Ross on the hill. Then Max Scherzer on Sunday, 2 o'clock start. Then Tampa, and then Tampa comes to Nats Park on Wednesday.
All Tampa all the time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Next week. Count is 1-2 to the Nats leadoff hitter. Swing and a miss. And so Span goes down. He strikes out 2 of the 3 that he faces. And as we head to the bottom of the third, it's a 2-1 game.
Connections 2-1 Brewers as we head to the bottom of the third inning. And if you missed the bottom of the first inning, it was going all right, and then a ground ball that could have been an ending double play. A little indecision between the middle infield right there led to a couple of runs and a few more pitches for Jordan Zimmerman. The big blow by Ramirez. The double in the gap that scored Braun and Lynn to make it 2-0 at the time. Bryce Harper answered with his 21st to make it 2-1, and that's where we're at.
And Ramirez driving in his 22nd and 23rd run of the year. For the Brew Crew, and it's 2-1 Milwaukee. We head to the bottom of the third with Geraldo Parra and Ryan Braun and Adam Lynn. Zimmerman's given up 3 hits, and Mike fires 1, the Harper home run. And 52 pitches thrown by Jordan Zimmerman. Just missed in the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. And that's at 31-29, 15-17 on the road. That ball fouled out of play. And that's an even count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last season, these 2 ball clubs met 10 times. The Nats, 6 times, they won 4 of them. That foul back on the screen, out of play. So it's a 2-2 count to Gerardo Parra. Had a 2-for-4 last night with a home run, number 8. He keeps hacking away and fouling them away.
Those are nice gloves. Those are batting gloves sponsored by Mickey Mouse. It's got a Mickey Mouse glove contract. I like it.
That's a little small for him too, isn't it? And Parra fouls another pitch back out of play.
I'm not sure about those. I gotta be honest. Mercedes showed you the whole at bat.
And a bouncy ball up the middle, line drive for a base hit for Parra.
Pretty good at bat by Gerardo Parra right there. Fouled off some tough pitches with 2 strikes. Got something out over the plate. Went right back up the middle. It's good hitting.
And Milwaukee gets their leadoff batter on to begin the 3rd. It'll bring up Ryan Braun for a 2nd time. Braun on a fielder's choice and scored one of the 2 Milwaukee runs on the Ramirez double. 59 pitches for Jordan Zimmerman. Johnny Holiday along with F.P. Santangelo. We're at Miller Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Easy for me to say. In the 2nd of a 4-game series against the Brewers. And you mentioned, FP, about Zimmerman speeding up. Now he's slowed down a little bit, trying to get back in that rhythm. Have you noticed any change at all?
He's slowing down between pitches, and every once in a while he gets going at such a breakneck speed in between pitches that he has to. When you see him rubbing up baseballs, walking around, that's his way of slowing down his tempo.
Line drive again up the middle, right past Jordan's head, and the Brewers get the first 2 batters off here in the 3rd. Howard a 2nd, and Braun on with a base hit, and that's 5 for the Brewers already.
The fastball's been elevated in the strike zone so far for the most part from Jordan. And we all know the book on him is teams are going to come up and hack, and the Brewers are doing just that. American Standard, who's hot, who's not? Yunel Escobar, 357 average this month. 318 in May, 306 in April, so he's been consistent all season long. And Adam Lynn likes Miller Park, 333 average, 16 extra base hits in this yard. Road, not so much. And there they are.
107 points higher in games played here at the friendly confines of Miller Park. Lynn singled to right center his first time up against Zimmerman. Nobody out with 2-1 and a 2-1 Milwaukee lead. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. And the first pitch to Lynn is a ball. And the pickoff play at second base, and barely getting back is Parra.
I mean, take a look at that. Jordan Zimmerman's taken a minute to get back up on the mound. I don't know what Ian Desmond said to him, but that was close. That might be worth another look. And Zimmerman's standing on the grass, and they might look at this. Let's see if it's worth a challenge. What do you think? Yes,
absolutely,
definitely worth a challenge.
absolutely.
And I think he's out. But like I said, I shouldn't have said anything right there. I have no clue. I don't. I really don't. Replay's got me so baffled right now. I have zero clue. And I know the fans at home are thinking the same thing because we've seen conclusive evidence to overturn calls that just haven't happened this year. Whether it's for the Nats, for the other ball club, just in general, replay has me baffled this season. And maybe it's just the examples I've seen and it's working everywhere else. But I have to judge it based on what I've seen, and it's been awful.
Well, I think what we saw there, FP, and I'm sure the fans at home will agree, look at this. There seems to be no doubt in this at all that he's out.
There's been no doubt on a few this year. Either way. And look at Ian Desmond selling it. He's like, I got him. I don't care what you say. I got him.
That's Todd Tishner, the second base umpire, who made that call.
That's a huge out. You got first and second, nobody out, and it's a runner on first with one out. And now if you're Jordan Zimmerman, you're one pitch away.
There you go.
Thank goodness, they got one right.
Yeah. Is that one for what? 40? Something like that.
I should say, thank goodness I got one right. I'm the one that's one for 40.
So Parra picked off second, and a nice move by Zimmerman.
You know, sometimes there's outs other places than home plate, and Jordan Zimmerman throws a strike right on the money. A daylight play by Ian Desmond. And a daylight play means if a shortstop sees space between himself and the runner, hey, he's going for another one. Sees space between himself and the runner, that's kind of eye contact between the pitcher. You throw your glove up and you get behind there. There's perfect timing, well executed, and a strike from Jordan Zimmerman. Great tag by Ian Desmond.
And it takes away that lead runner for the Brewers down at second base. Count to Lynn is 1 ball, no strikes. Power erased in the pickoff, and Braun still at first base after his base hit. And the 1-0 pitch. In there for strike, 92. And Lynn was a terror at the plate with runners in scoring position last year, hitting .343.
And give Jordan Zimmerman credit for not getting back up on the mound. He talked to Ian Desmond after the pickoff. He stayed on the grass. And if you don't know, once you're on the mound and you toe the slab, you can't review the play.
Correct.
So he stayed on the grass. He had a feeling he was out, and it gave the dugout and the clubhouse a chance to look at it.
And you mentioned, boy, did Ian sell that play at second, huh?
Well, he didn't really have to sell it because he was out, but you like the way he showed the ball to the umpire. It's a well-executed pickoff. That's all that was.
Adam Lynn now is about 13 hits shy for 1,000 in his career. A swing and a miss. And Zimmerman bearing down, strikes out Lynn. And that's his third strikeout of the night.
Yeah, curveball. Lynn obviously convinced that was a heater, way out in front and over the top.
Brewers have 5 base hits in the game. They go with their 2 runs, and Ramirez up after doubling to the left center, driving in both Milwaukee runs. Seven home runs. He's driven in 23 on the year. Not hitting a lot for average at .215. And that ball would drift down the right field line. Harper giving a run for it up in the stands out of play. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike to the Brewers' third baseman. Shutout last night, although he did drive in a run, went 0 for 4. Shane Peterson waiting on deck in case Ramirez gets on. And a checker Braun at first. Breaking ball misses outside. Nice stop by Ramos. And against Jordan Zimmerman, Ramirez hitting .391 in his career. And a throwback and diving back is Ryan Braun safely. A lot of pitches thrown at P in these first 3 innings for Jordan.
Man, pitch number 70 coming here in the third. 70.
That's in the gap. Braun will round second base. That's going for extra bases. Ramirez heading for second. Taylor, the cutoff, the throw to the plate. Ramos, no play, sliding across safely. Braun, and Milwaukee leads it 3-1.
So Ramirez doing all the damage so far in this one. And it's been with 2 outs both times. First inning, double in the gap. That scored Ryan Braun and Adam Lind. Third inning, double in the gap with 2 outs. Scores Ryan Braun all the way from first base. Michael Taylor played this as good as you could. He hit Ian Desmond right in the chest with the throw. And the speed of Braun beats it. 3-1 Brewers.
Second double tonight. Third RBIs driven at all 3 Milwaukee runs. And Shane Peterson will step in. And Ramirez down to second base. 6 base hits now for the Brewers. Nice breaking ball, catches the outside corner.
Well, with the injury to David Wright, there's been a lot of trade rumors between Aramis Ramirez and the Mets. The Mets have a lot of starting pitching that they're willing to give up. They need a third baseman. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out.
Pop down the left field line, out of play. So do you think he's serious about not playing next year? If the right offer came along?
I don't know. We're in Brett Favre country, aren't we? I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't he retire like 14 times?
I think 12 in my last count. Yeah. It's the old thing. You never say never, do you?
Never.
No.
Just did.
Yeah. The ball gets away from hits. Bounces away from Ramos. It's a foul ball, I think. Milwaukee with a run across in this inning. 2 in the first. They got a 3-1 lead. And with 2 down, there's a 1-ball 2-strike count. When Shane Peterson, Segura on deck, and then Scooter Gennett. '93 in the count, even up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lee Kuntz, the Nationals trainer, celebrating a birthday today. Guys in the clubhouse wishing him well, and congratulations to him. Does a great job keeping these guys healthy. Bouncing ball down to Escobar at third, across to Robinson, close play, and he barely got him. And that retires the Brewers in the 3rd inning. They get another run. They tag on 1 more. It's 3-1 Milwaukee's. We head to the top of the 4th.
Bring Dad out to the ball game for Father's Day. That's next Sunday, June 21st. Make a note of that one at Nats Park. Watch your Nats take on the Pirates. It's the final game of that series. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today. Father's Day, June 21st.
Well, Mike Fiers, since the Bryce Harper home run in the second, is retired 6 in a row, and 4 of those by the strikeout.
Let's go STG inside the numbers. 18 pitches per inning. That's the most in the big leagues. Let's see if the Nats can make him work a little bit right here in the fourth.
Outside of the Bryce Harper home run, that's the only base hit. Milwaukee has 6 of them. And they 1-0 to Anthony Rendon. Off the outside part of the plate, count even up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Road games for Anthony, hitting .276 in his career. Driven in 56 with 15 home runs.
I was talking to Randy North today before the game about getting into an at-bat. And as a hitter, when you get into an at-bat, the more pitches you see, the better you are. Why is that? Well, you're making adjustments in the course of an at-bat. Say I take a fastball and I see my foot's down late on the take. If I would have swung right there, it's an out. But you step out, you say, okay, I got to get going a little bit earlier. That ball got on me. So the more pitches you see, the better timing you have. The more you see what the pitcher has and how it's working. And the better chance you are to get into a hitter's count and to narrow down what he's going to throw you. So there's more benefits to just getting a pitcher's pitch count up by working in at-bat. It benefits you as a hitter to make those adjustments throughout the course of that single at-bat.
Mike Fiers with a 2-2 count. Ball tails inside for ball 3.
So he's seen 5 pitches right now. However this at-bat ends up, it ends up. But he's got a pretty good idea going into the 6th pitch because he's seen a changeup. He's seen a fastball. He's seen the release point, the spin on the ball. And he's getting his timing down with the more pitches he sees.
And with all the time that Anthony missed in the DL, it's going to take a little time for him to really get in the groove and get where he's consistent. Getting back in shape is one thing, but he gets a walk.
It's good at bat.
It's the second walk given up by Mike Fiers. To lead off this Nationals 4th inning, they're trailing at 3-1. That'll bring up the third baseman, Yadiel Escobar.
And that's the best part about being an everyday player is you can do that throughout the course of a game. We can't see it. You can't see it at home, but these guys are making adjustments pitch to pitch on when they start their swing, when they go back, he goes back. You know, when I start my stride, what I'm looking for, game plan changes pitch to pitch, at bat to at bat.
And that ball comes in high and tight to Escobar. Rendon is down at first base. They call that a strike. Escobar, hard to believe that pitch was a strike. And the 0-1. Nice stop by. Nice stop by Ramos in the dirt on that pitch. Rather rough. His catcher Lucroy.
Well, just an emergency swipe at it.
Look what I found.
Nice play.
In 32 games since the 4th of May, Escobar's been on a tear. 43 for 123. 4 doubles, a triple, and 10 driven in. Slow bouncer down to Ramirez at third. Got 1 play, and that's at first base. And Rendon advances down to second. Escobar retired.
Time for your Geico highlights. Let's go back to the 2nd inning. Bryce Harper at the plate. Check out how high this pitch is and watch him get on top of the baseball. You talk about adjustments in the middle of an at-bat. Just stood up, got on top, hit the top half of that baseball, created tons of backspin. for home run number 21. And the only hit to this point, Bryce Harper leading off the second with his 21st.
And that for Mike Fiers was the 8th home run he's given up this season. So Bryce's numbers 332, 21, 48. Leads the ball club in all 3 categories. He's got Rendon at second with 1 away.
Check out where this pitch is on pitch track that Bryce Harper hit out. Look at that, number 4. I mean, it's almost up by the home run. And boys, we got to make his power zone a little bit bigger because now it's way up there.
Yeah, you can lengthen that screen a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Bryce. Line drive over the second baseman's head. Jeanette into right field. That'll score Anthony Rendon. And it's a 3-2 ball game now. And Bryce driving in both runs.
RBI number 49 for Bryce Harper. Easy offense, folks. Both hits tonight. A home run, first time up, and look where that one is. Down the zone. He knew he wasn't getting a fastball again. So what do you do as a hitter? You sit on something soft. He got it, drilled it in the right center. A nice at-bat by Anthony Rendon to lead off the 4th, scores, and we got a 1-run game. Here we go.
Rendon scoring from second base. Nice job by Bryce Harper to get him in. Ramirez 3 and Harper 2 in this game. Wilson Ramos struck out looking. It was fine. Tough first time up against Mike Fiers. Yeah, that's off the facade, off to the right, out of play.
Bryce is looking to run right there. He had a lean going and didn't quite get a jump off Fiers.
Mike Fiers 48 pitches. Jordan Zimmerman 75 through 3 innings for the Nationals. The 0-1 pitch in the way. They're going to throw it back to first and try to get Harper off the bag.
Close.
Very close. Nice coaching job by Tony Tarasco down at first.
How close was it?
This close. Wow. Wide open stance for Ramos. Here's the 0-1. Bouncer up the middle. That's going to get nice grab. It's to get the force at second. What a play by Scooter Jeanette. To force Harper at second base.
Well, that one looked like it was going up the middle all the way. Mike Fiers gave a little effort. Watch, he almost catches it with his glove right here. And then it gets past him. Jeanette laying out the glove toss. The bare hand by Segura. And just touches the bag before Bryce Harper slides in. No argument from Harper. And a fantastic play by the Brewers second baseman, Robin Wilson Ramos, of a base hit and maybe first and third one out.
And the young kid has done everything they wanted him to do since being called up yesterday from AAA. The lead runner is erased. Ramos on, and that fielder's choice with the force at second. And with 2 down, Clint Robinson will face Mike Fiers for a second time. Grounded out to Jeanette at second. In the second. Robinson, that first major league home run. Ground ball with Segura playing to the right side of second base. Will field it. Throws on to first, and the side is retired. But not before Bryce Harper drives in Anthony Rendon to make this a 3-2 game.
Milwaukee. Jordan Zimmermann out for another inning of work. We know that Zimmermann is gifted athletically on the diamond, but he's done some pretty impressive athletic things off of the baseball field as well. When he was in high school, Zimmermann was also all-conference in both football and basketball. And talking to his buddy Tim at the Zimmermann tailgate before the game, he said Zimmermann could dunk with ease in high school. He had one game on the football field where he had over 300 receiving yards, and he initially went to Wisconsin-Stevens Point intending to play football. And he's not the only one in the family to dominate athletically at Stevens Point. Jordan's now wife, Mandy, was the starting center fielder on the Stevens Point softball team. A lot of athleticism in that family, guys.
I would say so. And Gene Segura, athletic as he is, leads off this fourth inning for the Brewers with a base hit.
Yeah, he went to college and he was going to play football and baseball, but never showed up at football practice, just played baseball. And I think he made the right decision. And somebody's got to double cover him if he's catching 300 yards worth of passes. Come on. I mean, you got to walk off a linebacker or something. That's a Coons.com sideline report. When you're talking Cars, you're talking Coons. Good stuff, Dan.
Dan down at that tailgate with you, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was.
Scarfing down the wings and stuff. Zimmermann had 75 pitches through the first 3 innings.
Jay, they don't do wings in Wisconsin. It's brats.
Brat. Did they have brats out there?
They had brats. And
I thought it was wings, but I'm looking at your shirt.
All kinds
That's
of
why I wondered.
Wild games.
Segura off and running, and there's no play down at second base. That's his 8th stolen base in 9 attempts this year.
Great jump. And it would have had to been a heck of a throw by Ramos to get Segura. And Ricochet got Mike Everett. Home plate ump.
So Segura 8 of 9 in thefts. And he gets down in scoring position at second with nobody out. 3-7-0 for the Brewers and 2-2-0 for the Nationals. Both hits from Bryce Harper, the home run and the RBI.
That was pitch number 79.
In the Milwaukee 4th inning.
He could use a quick one right here.
He sure could. That ball was fouled out of play.
That was not a get Segura over swing by Jeanette, and the reason why is he's hitting 8th. And as the 8th hitter right here, you're not sacrificing your at bat with the pitcher on deck. So he's thinking drive him in to the pull side, not just get him over.
And Jeanette hitting 171 on the year. 81 pitches for Zimmermann. Count as 3 balls and a strike. Runners in scoring position. Jeanette has driven in 62 runs in his career. Checker Segura down at second. Fouled out of play.
He was sent down in May after just 21 games because he was hitting 154, 10 for his first 65. And then, to his credit, he went down to AAA, hit 307, 23 for 75. Came back up for Craig Counsell's ball club last night, had the game-winning hit. He's made some nice plays at second base. So don't let the average fool you. This is a hot hitter. He was locked in AAA.
Yeah, the 3-2 pitch. Line drive to right field. That's what you're talking about, FP. Harper fields it on one bounce and fires to home plate. And standing at third and holding up at third is Segura, but chugging into second is Jeanette with a double, and runners at second and third with nobody out.
Well, that's the first time I've seen Bryce Harper miss a cutoff man this year. And he allowed Scooter Jeanette to get to second base. The throw high, Wilson Ramos has to kind of move to catch it, but Jeanette read it high out of Harper's hands. He gets to second base. An aggressive mistake, and you'd think that Fiers was going to bunt Jeanette to second anyways. And we'll see what the Brewers have up their sleeve here with second and third. Nobody out.
And again, Jordan Zimmerman in deep hot water here early in this game. Fires, swing and a miss.
Matt Williams bringing the infield in. Everybody toes on the grass.
You got the fastest Brewer down at third. And Jeanette with good speed down at second after the double. Fires grounding out to Robinson his first time up facing Zimmerman. Infield in. And Taylor Hill loosening up quickly in the Nats bullpen. This is a 1-run game, 3-2 Milwaukee.
Slider right there at 86. Obviously pitching for the strikeout.
And you got to face Lucroy and Para after him.
See if they throw another one. 3 in a row.
Nice stop by Ramos. Mike Fiers 1 for 17 this year. Want to make this 1 for 18. And the 1-2 pitch. Got him. That's strikeout number 4.
Time for Toyota Case for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this season. 4 for Jordan Zimmerman. He would like 5 right here.
And here comes Jonathan Lucroy. He's 0 for 2. Struck out swinging, one of 4 strikeout victims for Jordan Zimmerman. Line drive to left field. That'll fall in front of Taylor for the base hit. 1 run will score, and 2 runs will score. 2 RBIs for Jonathan Lucroy. First pitch swinging.
Well, great read on this by Scooter Gennett at second base. He took off like there was 2 outs, so he knew this was going to drop. And you're wondering, is this going to hang up enough for Michael Taylor to make a play in left? Watch the read by Gennett. He just takes off. Ball drops. Taylor has to give with it to field the hop, and that allows Gennett to score along with a good jump. And that's going to do it for Jordan Zimmerman here. Matt Williams out to make a double switch. Did not see that one coming, folks. I have to be honest.
I don't think anybody is. We have the UPS call to the bullpen. This call to the bullpen packaged by the UPS store, your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics. 5-2 Milwaukee as we have the call to the bullpen.
And I want to show you something. For younger players at home, Scooter Gennett, pre-pitch preparation. Find where your outfield is. Look where Michael Taylor is. He's playing kind of deep, respecting Jonathan Lucroy's pop. So he looked before the pitch. He knows that he's playing deep. And that's what you do as a base runner. You check your outfield. And with one out, he knows that Taylor's playing back. He knows that that's going to drop. So he just breaks like there's 2 outs because of looking behind him before the pitch and knowing where the outfield's playing. Doesn't always happen at the highest level. I think base running is the most overlooked aspect of the game at this level, but that was nice by Scooter Gennett, knowing that that ball was going to drop, because I thought there's no way he scored on that, but it was a good read.
So Tyler Moore takes over at first base as Taylor Hill comes on, and you see the pitch arsenal for Hill.
And as a younger player, you check the outfield every pitch. So the first thing you do is you get your signs from your third base coach. You look how many outs there are, or you remind yourself, and then you check your outfield, you check your infield. And the reason you check every pitch is because guys move around due to counts. A 3-1 count, you might be playing a guy to pull because he's looking to yank a pitch. A 2-strike count, you move over as an outfielder because he might be late on something to protect. So different counts, outfielders move around, so that's why you have to check every single pitch. It's the last thing you do before you get your lead.
That's a pop down the third baseline. It's going to go out of play. The book on Jordan Zimmerman: 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 1/3 innings of work. Walked only 1, struck out 4. And the responsibility is down at first base. And Jonathan Lucroy, that's Zimmerman's guy. 5-2 Milwaukee with a 9-hit day so far. That'll drop in for a base hit in front of Michael A. Taylor.
I like what Gerardo Parra is bringing to the table. He's a good outfielder, 2-time Gold Glover. He's a tough out at the plate. Hits the ball to all field. He's got a little bit of pop. He's a good player.
Last time Taylor Hill came out of the bullpen against the Yankees in the second game of that series at Yankee Stadium. Came up from AAA back in May 30th. Still only 1 down here in the 4th inning. Earned run average 405 for Taylor Hill. And Braun stands in. That's in there.
And there's a long way to go in this game. A 3-run deficit at Miller Park is not like a 3-run deficit in a ballpark where the ball doesn't carry. So it's up to Hill to keep this thing right where it's at. Give Matt Williams some innings and save his bullpen. But you know, if he gets some ground balls right at people, he has a chance to get a win here tonight. Long way to go.
That ball skied to right. Harper's got to come in quickly, and he gets the out, and back to first and second go the Brewer runners. Well, you said that last night, FP. A lot of runs in this ballpark. That's at a 5-1 lead. So Braun is retired, and the fly ball to Bryce Harper. Adam Lynn will step in against Taylor Hill. Yeah, the single back in the first, scored a run, a 1-for-2 night. And he's driven 32 runs this year. Jonathan Lucroy with 2 RBIs and 3 for Ramirez have accounted for the Milwaukee runs. Brewers at 5-10-0. '86 from Hill. 2 balls, no strikes. Ramirez is on deck. In there for a strike.
Good pitch down the way. Good sink to it. 92. Now Hill's a guy that's got to pitch to a corner. Keep guys off balance, mixing his off speed, moving the ball around. Doesn't have overpowering stuff to throw right down the middle.
Punches that to left field. It's going to fall in front of Taylor. Bobbles the ball momentarily. And the bases are loaded.
Well, there's no way that Ed Cedar at third base, the third base coach for the Brewers, could anticipate that Michael Taylor was going to bobble this ball. So when he has to make a decision, it's right there, and that's when he gives the stop sign. And the crowd moaned here at Miller Park, but Cedar didn't know that was going to happen. That's a big part of this ball game. This has a chance to be a ball game, or the Brewers have a chance to blow this open.
Yeah.
And Ramirez has been the guy so far in this one with a couple of doubles and 3 RBI.
Now the base is full now for the Brewers. 84. Lucroy, Hara, Lend. At third, second, and first, respectively. And the 1-0 pitch. Just missed down low.
Should be a healthy swing right here from Aramis Ramirez. Never met a 2-0 count he didn't like.
Taylor Hill grew up in Old Hickory, Tennessee. Pitched at Vanderbilt. That is a fair ball. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. The throw to third. Over Rendon's head. Backed up by Ramos. Runners at second and third with 2 out.
RBI and 3 doubles for Aramis Ramirez. Have a night. So 0 for 4 with an error in game 1 of the series. 3 for 3 with 3 doubles and 5 RBI in game 2 of the series. And he's been a one-man wrecking crew here tonight.
Well, he is having some game.
Can't fall behind to a veteran hitter with the bases loaded. He knows you have to throw a strike. He was swinging all the way, and he found the barrel for the 3rd time tonight.
Ramirez down at second base for the 3rd time. 7-2 Milwaukee in this 4th inning. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 4 in the third, already in with 2 outs. And one of these runs charged to Jordan Zimmerman. He'll give up 6 runs for the night. Count is 2 balls, no strikes, as Peterson becomes the 9th hitter in this inning. He is 0 for 2. Ground out to first, ground out to third.
We said it before with the younger pitchers. If you come into a big league game and you're throwing strikes and you get hit, Matt Williams will never have a problem with you. But if you fall behind and you walk in guys and you're missing the strike zone, that's when you'll get the skipper's attention, and not in a positive way. And we saw that with Joe Ross, his first start. He came in and he attacked the strike zone.
Yes, he did.
He didn't nibble with all of his pitches. You know, he gave up some runs, but he was fearless out there, and right now Hill is having a little bit of trouble finding that strike zone.
6 hits in the inning so far for Milwaukee. Peterson fouls it back. Ramirez with 5 RBIs in this game. 5 of the 7 knocked in. What a perfect night at the plate. They have second thoughts about hanging it up next after this season. Well, he's swinging. Peterson strikes out, but not before the damage is done. The Brewers push across 4 more. They take a 5-run lead as we go to the top of the 5th at Miller Park. Nationals. Ramirez with 5 RBIs, a perfect night at the plate as we check the Mazda's due up here in this inning. It'll be Desi, 11 runs in 31 games against Milwaukee. Taylor with a .241 average, 1 homer this month. And Tyler Moore in Milwaukee, 3 for 6 with 3 RBIs in a couple of games here at Miller Park. And he will face the right-handed slants of Mike Fiers, who's got a comfortable 5-run lead. The ball club trying to win for the first time with Fiers in the mound at home this year. And the 0-1 pitch to Desi. And their first strike, 89. FP coming in this game, when you looked at the numbers of Mike Fiers, you're kind of licking your chops saying the Nationals could have some pretty good success against this guy. He's only given up 2 hits, and both to Bryce Harper.
Yeah, the one stat I always looked at for a pitcher was batting average against and strikeouts to walk. Those were the 2 things.
And it's pretty high.
I mean, you look at Fiers,
291,
292, 74 for 253 with 7 home runs coming into tonight. So you never know. Get some guys on, pop one out of here, see what happens. Long way to go.
And the difference, the pitches by inning for Fiers. A couple of innings, he had 15 there. And Jordan Zimmerman struggling tonight with over 75 pitches thrown. Actually in the 80s, I believe, when he was taken out of the ball game at 31 in that first inning.
Well, the 22 extra pitches he threw in the first inning was like another inning.
Sure.
Or so.
88 total for Jordan Zimmerman. And the ball club trying to fight back to get him off the hook. Michael A. Taylor fly to power in center field his first time up.
That line drive in the gap was tailing away from Parr. He ran it down, but the ball was hit hard. Good swing right there. That's how you swing to let it rip.
I always like to watch how he's locked in as a hitter. Pete, you just watch the eyes of Michael A. Taylor when he steps in that box. One of those young guys with great potential.
You know what I used to tell my hitters in A-ball, how to hit the off speed, the guys that had trouble hitting the off speed? Don't miss a fastball. And when you get a fastball and you're a guy that doesn't like the off speed, I hated off speed. I hated change-ups, curveballs. So I get the first fastball and get on it. That's the best way to learn how to hit the off speed, is when they throw you a heater, put it in play.
And Mike Fiers, pitching like he's off running for that Cy Young Award this year, has struck out 6 now.
Come out to Nats Park on Friday. Could use one of these right now. June 19th is the Nats take on the Pirates. Join us for happy hour at Miller Lite Scoreboard Walk, featuring $6 beer specials, live music. That started at 4:30. The first 15,000 fans ages 21 and up. Johnny, you got that covered. Receive a Nationals Pilsner Cup presented by Miller Lite. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today.
Yeah, I got mine already.
Do you?
Yeah. Panamera will face Mike Fiers for the first time. 181 average, 10 driven in, 3 home runs, and a .231 on base percentage. Fiers too quick up, too quick down to start this 5th inning. Bryce Harper's home run in the 2nd. Bryce Harper's RBI in the 4th. The only guy that's given Mike Fiers any problems. Nats have only had 1 base runner left on the bases. And Tyler Moore with a high fly ball out to center field. Pyra will have that. It's a quick 1-2-3 5th inning for Mike Fiers, coasting with a 7-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the inning with Segura, Jeanette, and Mike Fiers scheduled to bat. Remember this guy? Of course you do. A great reliever, Chad Cordero, got the final couple of outs June 12th of 2007 and notched his 100th career save as the Nationals beat Baltimore in the 7-4 ball game. He becomes, at that time, 25 years of age, the 3rd youngest to 100 saves among all the major league pitchers in save opportunities. Francisco Rodriguez here of the Brewers had 24 in 06. And a couple of years ago, Craig Kimbrell had that 2nd spot nailed down.
A little side note to that, Drew Storm with 85 career saves, 15 away from 100. That could happen this year.
That's our Jeep inside the numbers. And good numbers they were for Chad Cordero. Came out to Nats Park a couple of years ago. Media and the fans love to see him. Very personable guy. Wore that cap down around. The Storer wears the cap the same way, kind of low on the forehead.
He does.
Last of the Milwaukee fifth inning. And Gene Segura with a run. 1 for 2 evening, a stolen base. Got that single to center field in the fourth inning. When Milwaukee paraded 9 hitters to the plate. And Segura fouls it back. Scooter Gennett on deck, and then Mike Fiers. That's trying to draw even in the series tonight, with a couple of day games coming up tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon. Bouncer right back to the hill, and Hill on the hill will throw on to Tyler Moore. There's one down.
And good job of getting in the strike zone, getting the ground ball. Good crowd here on a Friday night in Miller Park. They've had a lot to cheer about. 72 Brewers.
Joe Ross goes tomorrow, and then Max Scherzer goes on Sunday against Nelson. He'll pitch on Saturday for Milwaukee. Scooter Gennett 2 for 4 in this game. Two for 2 rather, and also a double and a run scored. And against Taylor Hill, he's 1 for 2 in his career. And facing Hill, bouncing ball to short. Desmond, the long throw to first to Moore. There's 2 quick outs to begin the fifth.
That's not the greatest walk-up song ever, I'm just saying.
Not familiar with that, were you?
No. And I usually am.
What was your walk-up? Do you have one? What was it?
Working Man by Rush.
That'd be a little 9 Inch Nails or Nirvana or something like that.
That would have worked. But Working Man by Rush fit.
Mike Fiers with another quick 1-2-3 inning. Taylor Hill gets the job done as Fiers flies out.
Tonight, first one is Aramis Ramirez. He doubled his first time up for a couple RBIs, then handed over to Bryce Harper in the gray uni. He went deep for his 21st home run, 48th RBI. And then Ramirez with another double, Bryce Harper with a single. So those are the 2 offensive stars. And the Brewers with their 1982 throwback unis tonight, Harvey's wall bangers. Harvey Keene would have been proud of Aramis Ramirez tonight. He has been a wall banger. 7-2 Brewers.
Bryce Harper 2 for 2, a home run, number 21, driven in both the Nats runs. Jordan Zimmerman, not pretty numbers. 9 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, 4 strikeouts, 88 pitches, and 3 1/3. Ramirez, that 3-for-3 night going so far, all 3 doubles and 5 RBIs. That 1-2-3 inning, as you see some youngsters out there climbing the wall here in Miller Park.
Are those the 2 guys that escaped from prison?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Denard Span with a line drive to right and drifting back and hauling it in over his shoulder. Ryan Braun with a first out of the inning.
They're almost out of here.
Taylor Hill in his last appearance there on the mound for the Nats. That's the first time tonight that Milwaukee in this ballgame has not had a runner on base in an inning. A quick 1-2-3 fifth inning. The Nats need some runs now. The top of the 6th. Rendon up for the 3rd time.
So the Brewers are wearing the throwback unis tonight, the 1982 championship season, world champs. And they used to wear them once in a while, but they're so popular here with the fans that now they wear them every Friday when they're at home. And I love them. I like them better than the regular uniforms. I think they're awesome. The hats, the pinstripes.
They beat California, was it, in the 82 series? In the championship series.
I think they beat the St. Louis Cardinals, but I'm not sure.
Familiar names in that ball club. Gantner was on it. Molitor and Harvey of Money. Ogilvy and Simmons and Yount. Cecil Cooper.
Gorman Thomas was my guy. Although Cecil Cooper and wiffle ball and imitating that stance, you can't beat it. Wide open stance. Lay the bat flat down like Rod Carew. With my Brewers helmet that I got at 7-Eleven.
I wish there was a camera up here. I could take you a side shot and show the fans what you're doing.
I just showed you it.
I got it. I got it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. With Anthony Rendon looking for his first hit tonight. Well, that's just looking to get somebody on base. And that'll be a nice start up the gap for Rendon. Extra bases. Easily will have 2 on this one. And Anthony glides into second base with a double. Nice swing.
Hit the ball hard his first time up into the double play. Walked and scored a run second time. And now tried to get that fastball down in. Look at him pull the hands in. Driving in the gap. Nice swing. So a couple hard hit balls here in the 6th. Check out the Nats box score. Pretty much Bryce Harper. Anthony Rendon just checking in is the only other hit.
And Rendon's got 6 base hits now since he come off the DL, and 2 of those are doubles. But Rendon in scoring position down at second for Yunel Escobar to see if he can't pick him up.
Now the Cardinals beat the Brewers in that series in 7 games in '82. Either way, I still love these unis.
Escobar fly to center, grounded out to third. Only 70 pitches for Mike Fiers in this game. Got a 2-hitter working. Another base hit. That may score Rendon. He's going to be held up at third by Henley, and wisely so, because Peterson had a good jump on that ball. So runners on the corner with 1 down. Or Bryce Harper.
So it's 3 hard hit balls in the inning and 1 swing, and you got a 2-run game. Let's see what this is all about. Go instant 7-5 here. And stranger things have happened in this ballpark, let me tell you.
Escobar and Rendon with back-to-back base hits, setting the stage for Bryce Harper. Fastball to 90 and high.
Mike Fiers can't be comfortable right now. Where do you throw this guy? You threw him a fastball up first time. He stood up and backspined it out of here. Threw him off speed down second time. Hit a bullet into right center field. I don't know.
This time he goes opposite field, foul, way down the left field line. As Blake Trinan loosening up out of the Nationals bullpen. Harper with runners on the corners. And Harper with a shot down the right field line, barely foul.
And the hard part is for Jonathan Lucroy right now. What finger do I put down? And where do I want the location? Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling you, because you're thinking this is an instant ball game unless we make the perfect pitch. And he's looking in the dugout, maybe for a little help. Like, should we pitch to him even though it's a 1-2 count?
Maybe off speed after.
It looked like a fastball in, or
up high and tight, brushes Bryce back. Now to run the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
the sign by Lucroy was strange. That was the up and in sign. And if we can get back to that and just get a still of it, it was a 1 with the thumb out. And that means he wanted it up and he wanted it in. That was obviously a purpose pitch at a 1-2 count.
That's 2-2. That ball way high. And the count is full with 1 down. Escobar at first, Anthony Rendon at second after the double. And Mike Fiers feeling a little bit of the heat now.
Fastball in. Shook it off. Wants fastball away to a changeup. No, curveball. 4 shakes to a curveball here on a 3-2 count.
And he got him with a breaking ball. A huge out for Mike Fiers, and that's strikeout number 7.
Let's check out the pitch sequence. Mike Fiers v. Bryce Harper. Big part of this ball game. If you want to jump back into it, you can't put it all on the kid. But you were thinking, if you're a Nats fan, this is where you jump back into the game based on how he's handling every pitch. The last one to me was interesting. That's not a bad pitch. But he shook fastball in, fastball away, changeup to a 3-2 curveball that never really got there for Bryce.
And that is a big, big out for Mike Fiers.
That was more like an eephus pitch than a curveball. I mean, look at it, 72 miles an hour, never got there. And the most important part of that is he was committed to that pitch. He didn't just shake because Lucroy put down a sign. He wanted a pitch that he was totally invested in, 100% behind, and that was the curveball, and he executed it well.
Mike Fiers has shown excellent control tonight, only walked 2 batters. And he struck out 7. And he works the count to Wilson Ramos to 1-1. Ramos looking for his first hit tonight. And that ball will drift back, giving a run for it is Jeanette. And it's in the stands.
There's Robin Yount. He's here tonight. Got his jersey on. He's ready to go. Probably play, what, center field maybe? 82, he's a shortstop.
Yeah.
But tonight he'd probably play center.
Ramos good numbers with runners in scoring position, as he has right now with Rendon at third. And the 1-2 to the Nats catcher on the way. Nice block by Lucroy behind the plate. And the count is even. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down. And some activity out in the Milwaukee bullpen. Jeremy Jeffress loosening up. Ramos looking to drive in his 25th run of the year. And just missing outside. So a full count to Wilson Ramos.
He'd probably like to drive in his 27th run of the year here in a 3-2 count.
I think I'll go for that, yes. And the 3-2 pitch. And the bases are loaded. And Ramos works a walk. Escobar to second. Anthony Rendon at third. And Andy Espinosa will pinch hit. And a quick trip to the mound to talk to Mike Fiers.
Rick Kranitz, pitching coach for the Brewers out there. What do you want to do to Danny Espinosa? Well, it's a big at bat. Just like the Ramirez at bat in the 4th inning with 2 outs was a big at bat with the bases loaded. This is an opportunity for Matt Williams Ball Club to get back in this game. Line is moving here with 2 outs in the 6th.
Espinosa overall a .256 batting average this year. And of his home runs, of 8 of them, 6 from the left side of the plate. It's a fly ball deep to left. That ball is going back and caught by Shane Peterson.
Just got in on him enough. Didn't get the extension, and you were thinking, okay, it's Miller Park. Is this one carried out of here for a grand slam? You got a first pitch curveball. Hit it well to left. And Peterson makes the play on the track. And Mike Fiers up. Let's just watch the bratwurst, Polish sausage, Italian sausage. That's Chicago. We're in Milwaukee. The Frankfurter, and then the Cinco.
Wonder what you were doing.
They're not running that fast tonight. This is not that thrilling. Although the Cinco is not even trying in the back. I don't know what he's thinking. But for the second night, the Italian wins. Shocker.
Won the most races last year of all the sausages. And here it's 7-2.
His name is Guido, it says here on the Wikipedia page.
So Blake Trinan becomes the Nationals' third pitcher tonight. Opponent's hitting .250 off the right-hander. He will face Jonathan Lucroy, Gerardo Parra, and then Ryan Braun in the bottom of the 6th. Blake Trinan making his 25th appearance this year. Got a record of 2-2 with 4 holes. An average of .431. Bouncing ball to Rendon. On to Tyler Moore, and there's 1 down.
Check out the Brewers box score, and it's their 5-hole guy, Aramis Ramirez. 3 for 3, 3 doubles, 5 RBI. Scooter Gennett having another nice night. Adam Lind a couple of base knocks. Gerardo Parra. Shane Peterson yet to join the party.
Blake Trinan from Wichita, Kansas originally. Graduate from South Dakota State University. University of Arkansas and Baker University. High with a long drive. That's going to be off the wall and over the wall for a ground rule double. Milwaukee's 13th hit.
Perfect night for Gerardo Parra. Walked his first time up, single second, single third, now a double here in the 6th. So 3 for 3 on base 4 times. The Brewers center fielder having a nice night other than the pickoff at second base.
So Ryan Braun comes up for the 4th time, 1 for 3 night, singled in the 3rd and scored a run. One of the 7 that the Brewers have. And Blake Trinan facing the right fielder for the first time. In their first strike at 95. Adam Lind on deck, then Ramirez after him. 1 away in the 6th. And Trinan's 1-1 pitch. Line drive to center, 1 hop. Span will take it. Quickly fires the ball back into the infield, and holding at third is Parra. And Braun is on with a base hit. Back-to-back hits. And that's 14 for the Brewers. Yeah, the first baseman Adam Lind will come up for a 4th time.
Braun's so good with runners in scoring position because he takes pull out of the equation. He doesn't think about pulling the baseball out of the ballpark. He thinks about going right back up the middle and the other way. And why is that good? Well, if you think pull in those situations, you're susceptible to anything away or anything off speed. So he just does such a nice job of keeping his hands inside and using the big part of the ballpark. And he covers a lot of pitches because of that approach, meaning he's able to hit a number of different pitches by thinking the other way because you stay on the ball longer.
Having another solid year here in Milwaukee. There's Ryan Braun. Led the team last year in RBIs, as he does right now this year. Throw back, and he's back safely. Lind singled to center, struck out, and then singled to left. Braun's driven in 41 runs, 13 home runs. He's down at first, and Parra down at third with one away. And Blake Trinan, the Nationals' third pitcher, facing Lind. And the count's 1-1 strike. And that's foul. Swing and a miss. You talked yesterday, FP, about Milwaukee coming off a good series at Pittsburgh. They took 2 out of 3. They've won 3 of their last 4 games overall, and struggling mightily up until this point.
Well, they won back-to-back series for the first time all year. They just came off a road trip where they played St. Louis, Minnesota, and Pittsburgh, and they were 5-4. So you always like to look at a ball club and what they've done the last 10 games. Craig Counsell was saying he liked the way his club was playing on the trip, even though they didn't win the last game in Pittsburgh.
Got shut out,
but if you want to be a championship ball club and you have a team in last place, I think last night, Key, you can't let them think they can play with you, regardless if you're banged up or not. You come in, you take the first game, they give you 3 errors and 5 runs. That's a game that championship ball clubs win every time.
And it doesn't take much for a struggling ball club. 1 win like last night. And if they were to hold on and win this one, the momentum swing is advantage Milwaukee. They get that conference thing going for them. Adam Lind with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bouncing ball in the gap to right field. Parra will score from third. Down to second is Braun. Lind with a base hit in the RBI, and it's 8-2.
A sinker that didn't run back. He wanted that to be a front hip job, and it just kind of stayed on the inner half. Nice piece of hitting by Lind, finding that hole created by the Ryan Braun single. And the Brewers are having a good time, up 8-2. 15 hits now for Milwaukee. 15.
And number 16 has got 3 of them. All 3 doubles. That breaking ball at 97 in there for a strike. How would you pitch to Ramirez?
Don't let him get extended. Pound him in with the sinker. He's a guy that likes to use the big part of the ballpark, and if you leave it down the middle, he'll pull it. But he can be tied up on the inner half of the plate. And he's aggressive. Aggressive hitters, you don't always have to throw strikes to.
Ramirez hitting .224 in the year. Escobar on to second for 1, to first to Moore. They get the twin killing, but not before another Milwaukee run crosses the plate. It's 8-2 as we go to the top of the 7th in Milwaukee. Johnny Holiday, FP Santangelo in Milwaukee. We go to the top of the 7th inning for the Nationals. Ian Desmond leads it off. Then Michael A. Taylor, then Tyler Moore, bottom third of the lineup. Trailing by 6. Mike Fiers gone all the way tonight for the Brewers.
And Desmond in 2-0 count. Let's see if we can take advantage here. Get a fastball center cut. Give it a ride. Got a good pitch.
And the count now 2 balls and a strike. Mike Fiers working into the 7th inning, his longest outing this year. He's gone 6 a couple of times, never gone 7 in any of his starts. 6 against the Cubs, 6 1/3 against the White Sox, 6 at St. Louis. And he has allowed the Nationals 4 base hits. 72 on that one. And Des with a strikeout. Let's go down to Dan with an interesting story. Dan?
Johnny, I asked Michael Taylor the other day after his big home run in New York how he's been trying to create more consistency for himself at the plate. He said the key has been pitch selection and trying to stay within himself. He hasn't been trying to crush the ball, just stay short and put the barrel to it. Kind of a similar situation to Bryce Harper. Both have enough power that they don't need to try and hit the ball 500 feet. Just put an easy swing on it and let it happen.
And he's way up in the box, too. So that might be an adjustment to get to the off speed before it breaks. But you can tell his swing is a little more compact.
On base safely 8 of the last 11 games he's played.
But like I said, the best cure for the off speed is hitting the fastball when it's there. How do you hit a good curveball? Don't miss the fastball.
And quickly Mike Fiers ahead in the count 0-2. Young Michael A. Taylor over the last 5 years. He got a lot of good press for his defensive work. Been called the best defensive outfielder in the Nats system each of the last 5 years. Got all the tools, doesn't he, FP?
He does. It's just a matter of time and experience and figure out what the league's doing to him and adjusting to that. Looks relaxed up there.
He does. Here's the 2-2. Wide drive to left field. Peterson drifting back. One-handed grab, and Michael A. Taylor retired.
Nats are in Woodbridge June 18th through the 21st. Come out to the Fitz for Michael A. Taylor Flat Top Bobblehead Night. The famous Cowboy Monkey Rodeo Night. Kids Petting Zoo. You can pet kids for free all night. And our special Superhero Father's Day celebration. For all your tickets and promotional information, find us on the web at PotomacNationals.com.
Good look at the left-hander Matt Thornton. He would become the Nationals' 4th pitcher. Tyler Moore up for the 2nd time. Came in at first base and flew out to center in his first at-bat. And Moore got onto that one. It's a long shot to left field. That one is up and gone. Home run for Tyler Moore. No doubt about that one. And Moore with his 4th home run of the year. That'll make it an 8-3 game.
Well, a hanger right here from Fiers, and he's been kind of getting away with that ephus curveball at 70-something all night long. And that one he just left right down the middle, and Tyler Moore went upper tank for home run number 4. Nice swing.
RBI number 11 for Tyler Moore. And that for the Nationals, their 5th hit in the game. Into the top of the order we go with Denard Span up for a fourth time. '81 misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike fires 1 and 2 over his last 6 starts. Earned run average under 3. That's in there for a strike.
I'll tell you what, Matt Williams looking for offense. Hit speed 95 on the home run. You know, a swing like that may get you in the lineup tomorrow. Clint Robinson started at first tonight. But Tyler Moore with a good at bat off the bench on a double switch. Hits his 4th of the year.
Span, a ground ball to Segura at short. Got to hurry the throw and barely beats Denard Span, hustling down the line. The Nationals with a run. The home run for Tyler Moore.
That's a gut bomb.
Yeah, looks awfully good.
Serious gut bomb.
And the Hyundai 7th inning stretch coming up. 8-5, 8-3 Milwaukee. Is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
I mean, I can't even.
I want to hear this. Go ahead.
No.
It's TV. For itself,
TV. It's TV. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
the barrel man.
That just.
Well, you got to give him a break. It's his first year with the club, you know.
No, he's been here forever.
Oh.
He makes Mr. Matt look like the Mona Lisa. So he's been a mascot in the past, and he's come back this year to haunt kids everywhere in the Milwaukee region. Sleepless nights for everybody 12 and under because of Barrel Man.
Peterson with another base hit for Milwaukee, and he leads off the 7th inning with a double. That's number 16 tonight.
'24th appearance for Matt Thornton. Opponents hitting 186. Lefties just 161. Fly ball percentage higher than ground ball percentage. And I'm trying to put the wheels back on after Mr. Barrel Matt.
16 hits tonight for Milwaukee, ties their season high. And that is a season. No, can Harper make the play? He did. Nice diving grab and a quick throw to second base and back safely.
Great play by Bryce Harper. Great jump. Probably the most underrated aspect of his game this year has been his defense all year long in center field. He's been getting tremendous jumps. He's making great plays, and he just picks that one up off the grass. And the Brewers might be checking that one on the replay, but that looked like a catch to me. Craig Counsell, no, they're not going to check it.
First base umpire Tim Timmons making the call, drifting down the line.
With Bryce peeking out of the corner of his eye, like, don't even think about checking that, Barrel Man.
So Matt Thornton's got one outer in the 7th inning. There's the Brewers manager, took over from one. Ron Renicky was shown the door back in May. Scooter Gennett a 2 for 3 night with a double, the single, the run. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Bottom of the 7th, 8-3 Brewers.
I mean, if you could go as Barrel Man to a Halloween party in Milwaukee, that would be an awesome costume. You'd probably win best costume. Or worst.
Yeah, either or.
I mean, look at the tap on the back of his head. Or is that just the growth?
How come Masson Dan didn't do a piece with him?
I don't think he talks. He's just a barrel, Johnny.
Yeah.
Barrels don't talk.
Well, he's a man, though. Swing and a miss. Way ahead of that count.
Well,
that pitch.
He needs to get out in the sun a little bit. He's pretty pale. And he's out on the pitch track. Truck trying to reel it in. Curveball for Matt Thornton. Strike.
And the count is 1-2 to Scooter Gennett. A double, a single, a ground out in his first 3 trips to the plate. Thornton with a check of the runner at second. Breaking ball outside, and that runs the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, he's got SPF 1,000,000 on.
Two pitch on the way to Gennett. And Thornton strikes him out. That's the second out of the inning.
Watch every Out of Market game live or on demand in True HD on over 400 mobile devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch track widget. Barrel Man every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Jason Rogers will hit for Mike Fiers. 278 average, couple of homers, 6 driven in. 8 for 23 as a pinch hitter this year. So Fiers' work is done for the night. 3 runs, 5 hits. And that's left only 4 on base against Fiers. In line to win his 3rd game of the year. And first at home. Nice 5-run cushion. And the pitch to Rogers outside. $16 hits for the Brewers against Arizona May 31st. And 16 tonight. Nice block by Ramos. And the count's 2-1. As a pinch hitter, Rogers hitting .348, 8 for 23. And those 8 pinch hits leads the major leagues in that category. And that's fouled down the right field line.
And Matt Thornton trying to keep it a 5-run deficit.
And Rogers staying alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 down in the 7th. That's with hopefully more than 6 outs left in this game.
I think they heard you.
I
think they heard you say "staying alive" and they played the Bee Gees right there. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I think I played that at one time too.
Used to be a DJ. That was like a right on cue.
Remember, I once sent you an autographed picture. Swing and a miss, and Rogers is gone. And due up for the Nationals coming up, Anthony Rendon, Ian Escobar, and he'll be followed by Bryce Harper in the top of the 8th.
In the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And let's give Tyler Moore some love. Off the bench at a double switch. Walks up to the plate. First at bat, Tater. First row of the upper deck, everybody on the top step. High fives. Ian Desmond taking his helmet off. Second pitch of the at bat, a hanging curveball for Mike Fiers, and his 4th home run of the year.
And the right-hander Corey Knebel comes on now from Milwaukee. Pitched Wednesday at Pittsburgh. Had a scoreless 8th inning in that game. Unscored upon in his 8 of his last 10 appearances this year, including the last 5 times he's been called upon to pitch. Came up from AAA Colorado Springs about 3 weeks ago when they optioned Jeanette down there. And 6 for 7 in save opportunities. The opponents have hit 2 homers off of him, and with a batting average against him only .250. Comes in with Milwaukee up by 5, 8-3, and see if we can get something going here with the Rendon and Escobar and Bryce Harper.
A 2-pitch guy, fastball 95, curveball 81.
Rendon with a double his last time up. And that's his base hit for the night. 1 for 2 with a walk. 8-3 Brewers. 6 outs away from taking a 2-0 lead in this 4-game series. Rendon with a line drive to center. Parra will come on. Drifts back a couple of steps, takes it in. That's 1 down.
Good swings tonight from Anthony Rendon.
Yes. And David Carpenter, acquired and activated today after the deal with the Yankees. Working out in the bullpen under a watchful eye of bullpen coach here of the banana peanut butter sandwich fame.
Well, he's got to get some innings.
Yeah.
You know, he was put on waivers on June 3rd. So this is a good time to ease him into a game. Let him get some work in tonight. And don't be surprised if he's the 8th inning guy in a lead coming up here. If you remember, he was the setup guy for Craig Kimbrell.
18 2/3 innings with the Yankees in 22 appearances. High fly ball to right. Braun camps under it. Escobar is retired. Rendon the fly ball to center. Escobar the fly ball to right. And Bryce Harper will step in with a 2-hit night. 2 of the Nationals' hits tonight belong to Harper with a home run in the second. That's the closest the Nats have been in quite some time. It was 2-1 at that point.
333 the average.
And he has been steady all season long. Good look at Bryce. Leading the All-Star votes in the National League.
5th in average.
Yeah.
2nd in runs coming into tonight. 2nd in home runs. Tied for 3rd in RBI. But that was before tonight. Total bases, 2nd to Paul Goldschmidt in Arizona with 140. On base percentage, 2nd to Paul Goldschmidt, 464. Walks 1st. Slugging percentage 1st. Extra base hits 1st. Other than that, he's
pretty
really
much covered it, didn't you?
A tough year.
Yeah. That pitch in there for strike. The count 3 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Harper. And Knebel delivers. Missed him outside and lost him. So Harper on with a 2-out walk in the 8th inning. And Wilson Ramos, strikeout, fielder's choice, and a walk against Mike Fiers.
It's just funny how careful everybody pitches to Bryce Harper with a 5-run lead, nibbling. And I have a theory for that is pitchers don't want to give up home runs to Bryce because they know they're going to see it 84,000 times on highlight shows.
You're right.
More than any other guy. So even though it's a 5-run lead for the Brewers, you pitch carefully to Bryce Harper, and if you walk him, guess what? That's not going to get on the highlight reel.
Got nobody on. Does no damage at all.
And plus, whoever's hitting behind Bryce really has to pick it up, or Bryce is going to see nothing to hit. I'm shocked that Giancarlo Stanton in Miami has 22 home runs, because he really hasn't had anybody protecting him all season long, meaning somebody hitting behind him that if you walk him is going to make you pay. That's just as important,
sure,
as anything when you're having one of those years like Bryce is having. And with Ryan Zimmerman on the DL, Jason Worth on the DL, somebody's going to have to step up behind Bryce, or else he's going to walk 2-3 times a night.
Right-hander Corey Knebel in relief of Mike Fiers. Yan Ugla in the on-deck circle for the Nationals. He'll hit in Thornton's spot in that lineup. And the pitch to Wilson Ramos. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Knebel 23, 6'4", 210. Out of Denton, Texas. And pitched for the University of Texas, all conference. And Ramos stays alive.
That's how Jeff Kent won an MVP in San Francisco, hitting behind Barry Bonds. Nobody pitched to Barry Bonds, and what did Jeff Kent do? He cleaned up all the scraps that were left out there on base and ended up getting an MVP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you would love to hit behind Bryce Harper right now because he's always going to be on base. The top of the order, you're hoping is going to be on base. And you could do some serious damage hitting maybe in front of Bryce and behind Bryce based on the season he's having.
And the guy hitting behind Harper just connected for a base hit and extra bases. Ramos will chug it to second. Bryce rounding third. They're going to send him home, and he will score standing up. And the guy hitting behind Bryce Harper delivers in Wilson Ramos.
Oh, on cue.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
And you're talking about a guy with the on-base percentage that Bryce Harper has coming into tonight. He's going to be out there, and if Denard Span and Anthony Rendon get on in front of him, you have a chance to clean up and have one heck of a season based on the way the league is pitching Bryce Harper. And you think Bryce Harper's carrying it, they're down by 5? Look at him running around the bases, helmet off, full speed, like he's the go-ahead run. And you love to see that if you're Matt Williams. And now the Nats are within one swing. They're in slam range.
Ramos with RBI number 25, and that's his 9th double of the year. And Bryce scoring all the way from first base. Ugla will step in. A lot of years in the major leagues for Dan Ugla.
Big at bat.
You're not kidding.
Make it a 3-run game with a knock.
Dan Ugla with 2 outs. And Ramos at second. 1 run is in, 8-4. Milwaukee fouled off the chest protector. And Ugla on the year as a pinch hitter, 3 for 8. Overall hitting .217 with that unforgettable home run against the Braves earlier in the season in Atlanta. Corey Knebel against Dan Ugla.
That year I'm talking about with Jeff Kent was 2000 when he was MVP. Hit behind Barry Bonds, 334, 33 home runs, 125 RBI. So every time he came up, if you put the ball in play based on what Barry Bonds did in front of him,
yeah,
that's a good spot to hit behind Bryce Harper this season.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way to Ugla. Low for ball 2. 83, 20 pitches for Corey Knebel out of the bullpen, the first reliever who we've seen tonight for the Brewers. The 11th appearance for the right-hander. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Ugla gone. The Nationals are gone. They get a run back. They have scored 1 of the 7th and 1 of the 8th. They have closed the gap to 8-4.
We're going to go back to the 4th inning. Jonathan Lucroy with a 2-out knock to left. That scored a few, and it chased Jordan Zimmerman from this game. And I think his game was the 1st inning when he threw 31 pitches. And he was spent after that. It was a battle for him, and he didn't last long here tonight. 8-4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And here's the debut of David Carpenter. Fastball averaging 94.9 miles an hour this year. The breaking ball is a slider. Rarely throws the changeup. Command was a bit of an issue as a Yankee this year. Threw a lot of first pitch sliders. The Nats really wanted him to get back in the strike zone and aggressive with the fastball. That's when he was so good with the Braves, setting up for Craig Kimbrell. So we'll see how he approaches it here tonight. And his first pitch is a Washington National out of the bullpen.
Carpenter, 29 years old. And Lucroy, the first batter he'll face as a Washington pitcher. 4.82 earned run average, 22 appearances with the Yankees. And with the Braves back in 2013 and 14, ERA of 2.63. A lot of strikeouts, 141. And Carpenter becomes the 17th different guy out of the bullpen to pitch in a game this season for the Nats.
I don't know if it's the case, but some guys are just not New York dudes. And I've had friends that played for the Yankees and played for the Mets, and it's just a whole different thing in that city. It's a different animal. You know, with all the media, the pressure, the hype. Some guys like it, some guys don't. I don't know if that was the case with David Carpenter, but based on what I've seen, and that's all I can judge him by, as an Atlanta Brave, he was lights out setting up in the 8th inning.
Trying to settle down that Nats bullpen and get some consistency out there in the late innings. Major League tonight's appearance, first time on the mound for a National, as a National for David Carpenter.
Well, I like that he got the color change in his glove that quick. He wasn't using a black and red glove with the Yankees, I'll tell you that.
Jonathan Lucroy, Gerardo Parra, Ryan Braun, the three he'll face in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that's with one more chance to tie it or take the lead in the 9th. They're trailing by 4. Nats have used 23 pitchers this year. 2012, 19. 2 years ago, 21. Last season, 18. 23. And this is what? June 11th, 12th, something like that. My goodness.
'12th. And I had to check.
You know, I did too.
Because when you're in baseball mode, you don't even know what day of the week it is. You just know that you have a game. It's that 7-10 and who you're playing.
Well aware of that, because when I got in the bus today, I said, "Hi, Bob, how you doing?" I said, "That's the other guy. He's not here."
Who?
Your partner.
Oh.
The best, Mr. Carpenter.
He is.
He is.
He did text me last night, by the way, too. He was watching.
Yeah, DC Sportscaster of the Year. Congratulations.
Is that like a trophy of Ron Burgundy?
It's a trophy of me.
You are a trophy. You're a treasure.
Did you see the bobblehead dogs that Ray and I have?
No.
Yeah. Somebody made them and gave them to us.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. They're about this high. About 6 inches high.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're nice. You could have one for $25.
Thanks.
Cost us to buy those.
It's more expensive than a Bob Carpenter scorebook.
I can't afford that. Swing and a miss, and Lucroy goes down on strikes, and Carpenter fans him.
96.
David Carpenter, 29 years old, the former Yankee, now the National right-hander. Let's go to Dan with more.
Johnny talked to Carpenter earlier today, and it's pretty much just what FP was insinuating. He said he never really got comfortable when playing with the Yankees, saying it's not the easiest place to go, especially if you're struggling, given that the fan base demands perfection. He still remains incredibly confident in his stuff, though. Said that things aren't any different than they were in Atlanta. He's excited to be back in the NL East.
And we're happy to have him, too.
96 plays in any league, if it's in the strike zone or around the strike zone, and you got to like what you're seeing right now for Matt Williams.
Gets you to for number 48. Parra with a high fly ball to Bryce Harper in right, and it's a quick 2 up and 2 down for David Carpenter. In Milwaukee, it's the top of the hour at Miller Park. Johnny Holiday in for Bob Carpenter for the weekend series. Bob back with FP on Monday in Tampa Bay for those two games as the club goes there for 2, comes back home to D.C. for 2. And it's an 8-4 ball game. The big difference in the game, that 4th inning for Milwaukee where they pushed across 4 runs. They have banged out a season high tying 16 hits. And the Nats only 6 in the game. Brian Braun will face Carpenter. David trying to make it a quick 1-2-3 inning to nail down his debut with the Nats. And the pitch.
You just like power arms at the back of your bullpen. When you think about the Cardinals and their bullpen in the past, you know, Mike Matheny never really had to play matchup baseball because everybody he had down there through 98, whether it was a left-hander or a right-hander, and if you have power arms, it's hard to hang 96, 97. When you have finesse guys at the back end of your bullpen, sometimes it gets a little tricky if they're having an off day. But power arms late in games are what every manager wishes they had. And you see bullpens across the league with guys throwing 98, 99.
And Carpenter's hit 96 and 95 in his first appearance. And Matt Williams has to like what he's seeing out there.
Well, they knew what they were getting. And they're hoping to catch lightning in a bottle like they did with Matt Thornton off the Yankees scrap heap last year.
That 96 fastball is fouled off.
And think about it, he's only 29 years old. He's got about $815,000 left on his contract this year, so he's controllable through the 2017 season. So if he works out, he could be here a while. It's a good gamble by Mike Rizzo and the Nationals.
121 appearances with the Braves. He averaged 10 strikeouts. Ground ball to Desmond. Desmond on to Tyler Moore. It's a 1-2-3 8th inning for David Carpenter. Nice job. We go to the top of the 9th. Nationals trying to keep it going. Brought to you by Land Rover, above and beyond. Beautiful night in Milwaukee. It's an 8-4 game. Only thing not beautiful is the score. The Brewers up by 4. David Carpenter, nice debut tonight. 1-2-3 8th inning. Coming up tomorrow at 4, the Nats and Brewers meet again. Joe Ross, who lost his major league debut to the Cubs but pitched so well. 5 innings, 3 earned runs, struck out 4. He'll be opposed by Jimmy Nelson, who's 3-6 so far with a 4.05. He won his last start at Pittsburgh against the Pirates. Coverage beginning at 3:30 with Nats Extra with Byron Kerr and Ray Knight on Nassau. Hernan Perez goes to 3rd. Jonathan Broxton comes on to pitch the 9th inning.
The fastball's averaging 92, slider 88, occasional curveball at 77. So load him up and see what happens. Opponents hitting .311 against Broxton this season.
He and Desmond trying to keep it alive for the Nationals. Look out. My goodness. Fouled up in the stands. And
I think it got a beer, which is shocking here at Miller Park.
That was scary. He got a ball, yeah.
There was a drink explosion over there, and he got a baseball.
Broxton 1-2 out of the bullpen, 6.45. He pitched it Monday at Pittsburgh. Had a scoreless 7th inning. 26 strikeouts for this guy. 22 1/3 innings of work. 2 balls and no strikes to Desi. Michael A. Taylor on deck. Now it's looking right now just to get base runners. There's the 0-2. That's foul down the third base line. Nice grab of Bob Henley. And the fans got a souvenir. Broxton acquired from Cincinnati last year for a couple of players to be named later. Kevin Shackelford and Barrett Aston. And the pitch.
I'll tell you what, as a hitter, it's tough when you're having a rough night. 3 strikeouts for Desmond, 1-2 count.
Desi struck out in the 2nd.
He's trying to put her in play.
And the 5th and the 7th. Just make contact. And the 9th. So Broxton fanning Desmond, 2 outs away from nailing down a Brewer win. Michael A. Taylor up for a 4th time. Fly to center, struck out in the 5th, and then fly to left field his last time up in the 7th. And then Broxton delivers, swing and a miss. 94. Broxton ahead in the count quickly. No balls, 2 strikes to Michael Taylor. 9th inning, 8-4 Milwaukee. And Taylor stays alive. Michael hitting .222. And the pitch. 96. And Broxton strikes out Desmond. Now Michael A. Taylor.
Now watch him get on top of this fastball. Bottom of the zone.
So it's up to Tyler Moore to keep the Nationals' hopes alive in this one. Made his home run his last time up. His 6th of the year. Or 3rd of the year, I beg your pardon. He's homered and Bryce Harper's homered. And it's a 1-0 count to Tyler Moore. And this could do it. Drifting into foul territory. Jeanette says, I'll take it. He does. Tosses the ball up in the stands, and this game is over. Milwaukee has taken the first 2, so the Nationals tomorrow got to win 2 more to get a split in this series. 8-4 Milwaukee in this one.